Hey Mixel, how's it going? Yeah, I'll set it down to Mega 500 to see how well it goes. I I didn't know you had a CD32. Um, at some stage, I want to add a like you know how I've got the button for exe to ADF. I do want to add something similar for compiling uh, an ISO for CD32. Oh, I hope it all works. There's actually a few things at some stage, I'll need to add to Scorpion Engine for CD32. Yes, they do. Uh, I mean, the very when I started doing projects for Amiga, the very first thing I started doing was making custom CD32 ISOs, like for example, there were a bunch of really cool WHD load slaves that had CD32 pad support. I think the first one I did was flashback. So um, because the WHD load slave for flashback had really good CD32 pad support, it wasn't that difficult to get it running on uh, burn it to a disk and then be able to play flashback with the CD32 pad, no keyboard. Actually, I don't know about CDRWs, but CDRs work. Generally work okay. It does well. How well they work seems to vary by brand. Uh, I've usually haven't had any problems with verbatim media, but um, like there was some cheaper brands that I tried and they just didn't seem to work that well on my CD32. Or sometimes they would work, but they would take ages to load. Um, so yeah, adding the ability to make a CD32 ISO straight from the Scorpion editor is one thing I want to add at some point. Another thing is CD music. I haven't quite worked out how I was going to handle that. I don't know if I would have. I don't know if I would have something that would just say, if you go to play music and then, would detect if it was on a CD32. If it was, it would play a track from the CD. Otherwise, it would just play a mod file. Actually, I think it would probably be best if I had completely separate commands for CD audio, because I know sometimes, like, even if a game has CD audio, sometimes people prefer the mod tracker music anyway. This isn't running too bad on Amiga 500 settings. It's has a few slowdowns here and there, but it's not too bad. I'm not really sure what I can do to optimize it more than I already have. Oh yeah, I think I vaguely remember that. It's Was there like an AGA version of Marvin's Marvelous Adventure that did have sound effects or something like that? Oops. Well, that's a secret exit for level 2. Maybe I should add a bonus, make it so that this goes to a bonus level or something. The third thing I want to add to Scorpion for CD32 is NVRAM saving, because I still need to add saving for you know, non CD32 Amigas as well. Oh, damn it! Ah. Ah. Oh, I keep messing that up. Well, I don't think I'll be able to play through to the end this time, but I was really just seeing if there were any noticeable bugs that I really should try and fix. Oh, damn it. Oh, bit of slowdown there. Now that's weird. Quite noticeable slowdown at the moment. I don't know what. No. Okay. Hey Morgan, how's it going? Oof. Yeah, frame rate's pretty bad around this bit. It's just because there's so much going on all at the same time with those two, with the cactuses and then, cactuses there, and then the, over here we've got all these enemies. I'm not really sure if there's anything I can do about it. So part of the problem is the this is a port of the DOS Mario game, and the DOS Mario game was designed for like VGA 486. So sort of the levels, some parts of some of the levels have quite a lot going on, and so when you're playing on Amiga 500 settings, you do get some slowdowns. But it's not too bad. It's perfectly playable. Oh. Ah. Good. Oh, damn it. Now there's a secret exit over here as well, but I can't remember exact... Oh. Yeah, there's a secret... Oh, ah, crap. Okay, I don't think I can get to the secret exit anymore. But, oops. Hang on. What happened there? Okay. Right, cheers, Morgan. I think there's a scorpion in the Alex Kidd demo, which is the exact same sprite as the one in here, but yeah. Otherwise, I can't really think of many actual scorpions in Scorpion games. Okay, yeah. Oh, it's running pretty slow. Ah, yeah, it's running pretty slow here because there's quite a few, some like 4 enemies at the same time. I guess it really depends on what. Well, yeah, it depends on how complex the level is. The levels in this game didn't take too long because they're basically just reskins of the ones from the DOS Mario game. So I just basically copied the data and then I painted over top of them. Actually, I could once I'm finished testing this, it shouldn't be too long before I get to the end. I could bring up the level editor. Yeah, I've even before Scorpion Engine, I sort of there were lots of little projects I was working on. Well, lots of different projects I was working on. So, there was a platformer called the Kiwi's Tale, which was sort of I get like a lot of what went into that engine became the Scorpion engine. There are a few FMB games. Oh no, I didn't do that's another Scorpion Engine game, but I didn't do that one. Oh, g'day, Johnny. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, Super Delivery Boy is by Niso Games. Oh, I just want to check if these falling blocks still work. Yep. Oh, yeah, honestly, I've lost count. It's not every. Well, I mean, whoops. Most games I've made weren't Scorpion Engine games. And most games I did do for Scorpion Engine are just sort of these sample games. Whoops. Ah, damn it. Am I going to go the long way or the short way? I'll go the short way, I think. This is probably going to be a bit dangerous, but oh well. Oh! Nearly died then. Hi, welcome. Apologies if I pronounce this completely wrong. Ridijek. But yeah, I totally get that. I start a lot more projects than I ever finish. I mean, even this game, damn it, I was so close to the end, and then I think that was my last life. Oh well. But yeah, I start a lot more projects than I ever finish. Even this Amigo the Fox sample game, there's still a few things I want to add to it. Uh, yeah, yeah, I understand that M10. Problem with the step-by-step tutorial is I keep changing Scorpion engines, so it's possible that I sit down and do a step-by-step tutorial, but then a couple of weeks later or a month later, you can't really follow the instructions anymore because of changes I've made. At some stage, I do want to do a stream where I just sit down and spend a couple of hours making a game from scratch, and then that I can put onto YouTube. But again, that may go out of date pretty quickly. Yeah, wait. Morgan had a question earlier about making levels, so I'll just really quickly just make up a temporary level. So we've got if we've got our tile set already set up, then I can go make a new map, and I'm just going to call this temporary map. Oh, no, sorry, I needed to select that. I'm going to call this map. Okay, now, so we use the tiled level editor, and then well, I'm going to want to put the player in somewhere. Um, and what am I going to do? Well, I'll put some of these blocks in. Actually, I should make it the same height as these other ones. Let's see what is the height. Okay, so that's 18 tiles tall. Actually, I might add in. So I've got to use a springboard. I think you would need a springboard to get over there. Then I might put an enemy in here. What else can I do to make it somewhat interesting? Oh, let's have a look. Okay, so I think these are the ones that time out. So I'll put a few of those in to make it a little bit tricky. You've got to jump across them in time. Then I will add a couple of these patrolling that. Oh, there. Let's add a. Can't quite remember how the exit doors work, but I'll try adding an exit door in. And then try that. Okay, we've got a very, very rudimentary level there. Hey, Niso, good to see you. Start level, load level. I'm going to change that to load temp map. Let's see if our new level works or not. I hadn't really thought of that, Mixel, but yeah, I think. Well, I would assume most people use massive, just use massive tile sets. Like, for example, in this game, you know, there's a bunch of different themes, but it's all all the tiles are in this one tile set. From a memory point of view, it doesn't matter because when it doesn't matter how big your tile set is. When it compiles the level, it only uses the it only uses the tiles that actually are visually present. Oh, I think that might be too far. No, my level was quite badly designed, it seems, but actually, can I? Oh no, that was just too far. Oh, okay, but yeah, I just wanted to show that we can pretty quickly make a new level. So I don't really need that level anymore. I'll get rid of that, and I need to put my code back to. Using a variable there. Better just make sure that still works, and then I'll do some testing on the next game. Um, technically 2022.1 is done. And this is just I'm really just going through and doing some final checks to make sure. Like quite often when I'm about to do a public release, um, one of my sample games has stopped working, and it's either because there's still a bug with the engine, or I've changed something about the engine, so I need to update the sample game. So, assuming all goes well with this session today, I'll probably announce 2022.1 either today or tomorrow. This demo here is quite a simple one. It just sort of shows how you can change change the color of the character's shirt without. It doesn't change the Amiga palette. It actually changes the bobs on the fly, and this is sort of for sort of games like Street Fighter or Double Dragon, where you've got different copies of the same character, but like they'll have different color uniforms, things like that. And this is a new feature to 2022.1, so I made a demo to show, just really simple demo, just to show it off, or just to show how to use the feature. Um, Bad Apple. So I'm pretty quite proud of this one because this is more like a demo scene sort of demo. Um, and if you look at the map, it doesn't really make sense at all. But that's because all of the animation data for the entire animation is encoded into this. Oh, I'm still on Windows 10. I've been a little bit nervous about updating to Windows 11. I'll do it at some point, but I've been a little bit nervous about doing it just in case. Uh, because you do an operating system upgrade, and there's always a chance that it's gonna mess things up. Um, anyway, so Bad Apple is a um, this demo adapts a like a music video that's quite often used for demo scene productions. Like, people have done versions of this for Commodore 64. Um, this version of it is just to show that it can be done in the Scorpion engine. And more than that, like you can actually climb on the animation on the white bits of the animation and shoot through it. Um, Someone had done a version of this for um, the TIC 80, which is it's a fantasy console, so it's kind of like the Pico 8, and that fantasy console is very similar. It was quite similar capabilities to Scorpion Engine. So when I saw the TIC 80 demo, I thought I'd basically copy what they had done to make uh, the Bad Apple animation run. Um, yeah, well, I did the Scorpion Engine version of Bad Apple. Um, I I had to write some custom programs in Windows to port the graphics data from the original video. Um, so yeah, basically, I wrote a tool to make to to compress the entire video into map data, so I could play it back as a Scorpion Engine level, well, a level that you can actually climb around and shoot through and things like that. Unfortunately, this needs a pretty powerful Amiga. Like, you would need at least like a couple of megs of fast RAM and um, maybe an 040 processor. Just because, well, basically every frame, the entire map is being regenerated. But otherwise, I was pretty pleased about how this turned out. Um, and yeah, and it is part of the official Scorpion Engine demos pack, so it's all open source. You can go in and um, see how it all works. Um, hmm. Yeah. So with the Bob interacting with the background, that was well. So, since I'm generating this as a level anyway, I thought it might be cool to have some interactivity with it. I think that's something that's fairly novel. Well, it hasn't really been done for a bad Apple demo so far as I know. Um, hey, Griffin, how's it going? Um, but yeah, so the in here, basically this uh, all of this data down here is basically the timeline. So it's basically saying where it says black 16, it says generate 16 black tiles. Then here it says, okay, we'll generate 3 white tiles. Um, and so that's basically, so it goes through here every frame. And that's basically how it generates uh, the level. It's Yeah, or basically every frame of the animation is crunched into this level data. Sorry to hear that, Griffin. Is that with the moving platforms, or a different kind of platforms having problems with? This is another demo I'm quite happy with. So this one it uses basically everything is sprites. So um, oh yeah, that's possible. So with the problem that Z Team were having Sprite, or so far as I can tell, was uh they're French, and as I understand it, in France, decimal numbers use commas rather than periods, so they weren't even able to compile their game uh, on their computers, but on my computer it worked just fine. Okay, so in that case, if you get the latest experimental, it might be okay. So the latest experimental that I posted, I guess just an hour ago, had a fix for that bug. Um, anyway, with this demo, if I'm going to bring up the WinUE debugger, and then I'm going to turn off sprites. Um, you see, the only thing that isn't a sprite is um, the big enemy ship. So the big enemy ship is basically made out of map tiles, but everything else is made out of sprites. I'll turn the sprites back on one at a time. I just need to do some quick calculations. Okay, so C0. So let's turn on the background to begin with, so that the the background there is made out of sprites. I'll turn on 2 more sprite channels. So actually, I'll turn on. Need to turn another couple. So let's go to C. So 2 of the sprites are being used for the looping background, and then 4 of the sprite channels are being used for my fighter plane. But I'm only using 2 channels for the for all of those bullets. So basically, it's using sprite multiplexing, so that when it's finished, or when it draws the sprite at the top, it then repositions it further down the screen, and you can basically repeat that an unlimited number of times. So you can just absolutely flood the screen with sprites, and it doesn't affect performance that much. Okay, what's the next one on the list? Flighty Fox. Flighty Fox is just a really simple it's just a really simple Flappy Bird clone. There's not really much point to it other than I wanted something to show off parallax capability. So it was my first. I think it was the first demo I made that actually used parallax, or the first one where I publicly released the source code. And yeah, it's just so I tried to put in as much in the background as possible. So you see there's the sun, there's the clouds, there's the island. The island actually has a waving reflection. The trees, and then there's the fences and things like that. Yep, it is a Flappy Bird clone. Ridijek, if they're on the same scan line, it doesn't really handle that. It probably would glitch at the moment. It sort of expects that that you've handled it one way or another. You could possibly work around it if you had maybe if you had like 2 copies of the animation. Actually, I'm interested how many people watching the stream are game developers themselves, and how many are gamers. I'm really glad to hear that, Griffin. Do you mind if I ask which country you're from? Oh, well, I glad to hear that the bug fix seems to have fixed it worldwide. All right, thank you very much, Tech Mage. Um, so this game here is sort of a sample of a horizontal scrolling shooter. Um, it shows off a few Scorpion Engine tricks. So one of them is you can see there's the spinning the spinning ball, which is that's one of the that's one of the newest features is being able to have uh, objects that orbit other objects like that. Um, it also shows off. So this demo technically runs at 25 frames a second, but it has what I call sprite interpolation. So it's basically the same trick as Battle Squadron. So Battle Squadron runs at 25 frames a second, but because the player is a sprite, they're able to move that much more smoothly than the rest of the game. So you might actually be able to notice that you see those spinning cogs don't quite seem to be as smooth as everything else, or don't quite seem to be as smooth as the player, because those are running at 25 frames a second, whereas the player is full 50 frames a second. In fact, I'm gonna just try something as an experiment. Let's have a look. So, spawn player. Is Griffin? I mentioned that uh, parented objects like that orbit behavior that can be uh, that can be recursive. So I'm just going to temp code block. Just going to try something. I'm going to see if I can recursively have drones spawning on each other. To spawn the block. Let's have a look. Camera drone. Okay. So uh, three. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make it so that it should spawn 3 drones on top of the existing drone, which might look quite weird, but we'll see what it looks like. So start with conditional because we don't want an infinite number of drones to spawn. So I'm just going to go if drone spawns is greater than 0. We'll go end if, and I'll go I need to do need to do expression, so I need to go drone spawns -1. Then I just need to go actor and then spawn an actor, and then it's going to be spawn another drone. They might slow things down quite a bit, so I'm going to increase it from Amiga 500 to... Why not? I'll go all the way up to Amiga 4000. Amitin, no, there isn't a menu, but I will show you. We do. Oh, okay. I know what I did wrong there. Well, I know one mistake I made is that I had that flagged as only Sprite, and we don't have enough Sprite channels to have all of those drones, so I'll turn that off. Yeah, there is uh, there is a fair bit of help built in. Um, and yeah, so we've got since they're all orbiting around each other, you see we've kind of got a like a we've got a chain sort of thing with some I'll reset everything back what I did before. Yeah, so with some work, it might be possible to have something where you've got a snake that smoothly moves up and down. Um, Although I probably need to add some more support for maths functions, like because internally it uses some like a sine wave for the to make the thing spin around, but there's no way to access that in code blocks just yet. But yeah, anyway, Emmett, if you go to select a command, it will tell you what each of them do. So this is for the conditional. So you've got like standard if statements, or you can go else, else if. You can do for each, so that like if you wanted to destroy all of the enemies on a level, say if you've got a smart bomb or something, you can use for each to go through. Um, oh, and it no, there's no function key for help. It's just uh it's just when you go into here like when you go to select the command, it just when you go to select the command, it brings up all of this documentation about what each of them actually does. I'll just check that it still runs like it used to do. Okay, that's all good. So, all right, I think we can move on to the next project. Ladder demo. So, oh, hey, that's no problem, Morgan. Thanks for joining the stream. This demo is just I get lots of people asking, how do you do ladders in Scorpion Engine, and I didn't really do like for example, some engines like Backbone has built-in support for ladders, I believe. I didn't want to add it to built-in support for Scorpion Engine for ladders, pretty much just because there's lots of different ways you could do them, um, or like lots of different games. Well, different games have different requirements for how ladders work. Um, this particular demo uses a snap, so you can, if I'm standing right on the edge of a ladder and then I push the, oops, no, I was too close to the edge. Set up. But yeah, so it's always so the player always snaps to the middle of the ladder. I was given an alternative copy of the demo where instead of snapping to the middle of the ladder, you can sort of climb across it. And so lots of games work like this as well. So instead of just being able to climb up and down on a ladder, you can sort of climb side to side on one as well. So on this one, you can sort of move across like that. And some games, the ladders work one way, and some games the ladders work other way, which is fine. But that's sort of why I didn't want to make it a core feature, built-in feature of Scorpion, is because it would force players to do it one way or another way. So doing it this way, so these demos basically show you how to do it without any built-in support for ladders. Monkey Lad. There are a few bugs in this one that I might have to see if I can fix. So Monkey Lad is really just a clone of Alex Kidd. Um, the first couple of levels. It doesn't have all the features, but it has most of them. Except for the background, the copper sky, the palette here is actually the Master System palette. As the artist thought, it'd be cool to see what Alex Kidd would look like if I did all the graphics myself, and so the graphics that I borrowed, it's all Master System compliant. Um, Actually, I'll die up here. I think there's a bug with respawning that I need to fix. Did I die over here? There we go. Okay. So the camera's messed up. Yeah, I'll see if I can do a fix. I've got some time, so I'll see if I can do a fix for that. Go to on into water. So condition, I'll go. So I'm just going to check that the level equals level 1. And I'll make a note what I'm doing there. I'm just fix bug where camera is badly aligned. Then I'm just going to go display. Camera position. I'm going to set camera X back to 0. so that and I need because I've moved the camera, I need to reset the camera follow, and that part of the level the camera only moves downwards. Yeah, I think it's uh unless you're making a game that's almost exactly like Alex Kidd, it makes sense to instead of using this as a template, just create from scratch. Oops. Yep. Okay. Well, let's fix the camera bug. Oop. It was actually the first Scorpion Engine demo uh, to have platform support. Um, before then, it could only do like top-down games. But since then, almost all Scorpion games are platformers anyway. Oh. I think this demo is working okay. Other than that one bug I had before, I don't think there's any other bugs. So I might move on to the next to check the next demo. Okay. So I've only got a few left. Repairware's a bit of a strange one. So it's actually a port of someone else's game. They spent they just made it in a weekend for a game jam project, and what interested me in porting it was it had it's basically like a WarioWare game, so it has lots of really short mini games. So I sort of wanted to show that in the same project you could have a bunch of entirely different game projects, even if they are very simple graphics, but um, each of them has different gameplay styles. So very very short mini games. So that one is a spider, you have to repair the web. This one is a cat, you just have to move them out of the rain. Um, there's this one where it's just sewing. So again, a very, very short, very, very simple game, but just to show, this demo was just to show that you can mix and match all of these different styles in the one project. Um, so I think that one's okay. They didn't seem to have any noticeable bugs. What's after appeal here? Slope. So yeah, this one was made for testing out the slope function in Scorpion, so that you can make sort of designed for like Sonic the Hedgehog type games. I've also got an AI testing it as well, because recently there were some bugs where sometimes AI would have trouble going up and down slopes. Um, yeah, that seems to work okay. So I think I'll move on to the next one. Oh, I'm glad you found that port interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's might be interesting to see if anyone ever makes like a full length. Yeah, because that was only 4 mini games. But if someone made, a Scorpion Ninja game that had like 50 mini games like that, it might be quite interesting. Should I make any changes here? So Snake is really just, the classic Snake game. There's nothing. Oh yeah, so you could have like a multiplayer, like a WarioWare game, or even like like a Mario Party game. Um, there's actually a really good mini game in Mario Party that I want to port to Scorpion Engine at some time. It's basically like I think it's called Shell Soccer, and so if you got 4 people, they all control one soccer player, and it's a lot of fun. So it'd be really neat to port that to Scorpion. Um, but yeah, so with Snake, I mean, it is just a Snake game. There's nothing really that interesting about it. But I did want to show that you could do all of these. You could do puzzle games and such that use these. Oh, that's a bug. Okay, so it didn't spawn a mushroom that time. I don't think I've ever seen that bug before. That means I can't really get any further. Wonder why. Wonder why it messed up. Um, but yeah, so there's no actual actors in this demo. It is just blocks, and every few frames the blocks update, so it works out if where to generate the next part of the snake head, where to generate the next mushroom. I might that bug with the mushroom spawning is very rare, but 16, 14. Hmm. No, I don't know. I don't feel like spending any time working out what that bug is, but for some reason the spawn it doesn't always spawn food. I can't see anything wrong with my logic. It basically just checks if that a tile is empty, and if it's not, then it just keeps trying it again. until it does find a block that's empty. Anyway, I'll leave that one and I'll move on. If I can think of what the bug is, I might come back later and fix it. Super Go Down the Hole. So that's another game by uh, Sergio Cornaga. So Sergio was the guy that made that Repairware game earlier. And so he made this game quite a while ago, maybe a decade ago, as a, or maybe even more than a decade ago. He made it as a Game Maker game. And he gave me the Game Maker source, so I was able to basically copy it almost exactly from the PC version. There's some effects and such that I haven't been able to copy from his version, but otherwise, it's almost identical. Um, the that black void at the bottom there, that's rendered with sprites, so that even though it takes up half the screen, because it's rendered with sprites, it doesn't really have any cost on performance. So without that, it would run. If that wasn't in sprites, it would run pretty slow on Amiga 500. But as it is, I'm pretty sure the entire game you can play through on Amiga 500 without any frame drops. I think last time I was on stream, I made some fixes to this elephant. So, like before, if you pushed it, it would move an entire block. But now you can just sort of smoothly move it around. There's also, like for example, if you're walking into it, it slows you down, so it feels like it has some weight to it. This battle with the duck, it's actually based on another game Sergio did called Duck Fight, where like the entire game is basically just this bit where you're fighting a duck. Oh. Go all the way over here, then we get this the spike hat, and with the spike hat we can use it to attack enemies on the ceiling. Yes. Just want to check that the collision detection works for that slime. Yep, okay, so that's okay. I think I'll kill that one on the way back. One of the things I wanted to show off how to do on this demo is wall climbing. Oops, messed that one up. Let's try that again. Go to the top. There we go, that's better. I haven't made any. I think. No, I haven't made any Commodore 64 projects. Um, I can't remember if I. Oh, yeah, I haven't really done that much creative with Commodore 64. I remember when I was a kid, I would used to like. I think I would make tracks on the Racing Destruction set, and I think there was a Boulder Dash level editor that I use sometimes. But other than that, haven't really done anything for the Commodore 64. Um, okay, so that game seems to work okay. There didn't seem to be any noticeable bugs there. Oh, except well, that's one problem is that it should have gotten rid of the health bar at the top. Um, so I might just do a real quick fix for that. I'm just going to go when we get to the end cutscene. We just want to go display set panel top to none. That should be okay. And what do we got after that? I think we've got one more. Oh, the translucency demo. So this demo was actually a port from Amos. It's the original version of this demo was an Amos demo, and it sort of shows how, with some real trickery, you can you can fake alpha blending. So you can have objects that like stained glass. You can sort of see through them. So yeah, originally in Amos, it was made by Bitbeam Canon, who are Corey and Mike. They're a team of artists that also do some really cool technical things, and they're part of the creative force behind the game Metro Siege. Um, sorry, I'll be back in just my throat's getting a bit dry. I'll just get a drink. Just be 30 seconds. Yeah, anim tiles do have a maximum frame rate. Um, Part of the reason for that is because in a Scorpion Engine game where you've got lots of things going on at once, like you've got anim tiles, or you might even have anim tiles with anim blocks in the same level. I try to spread out the updates, and so um, the frame rate that tiles are at, it doesn't there's no support currently for making them run faster than they do. I guess it might change in future, but at the moment, yeah, they're hard coded. Well, so all of my official demos seem to work fine. So I'm just gonna do some tests on the unofficial demos. So the unofficial demos are another demo pack that they're not officially part of the Scorpion project because they're all based on commercial games, but they're still they're still quite interesting. Um, this one was by Niso Games. Uh, it's a tech demo based on Street Fighter 2. Uh, there isn't really. It's. I might need to think about it, but um, yeah, I guess there's some complications. So one of them is displaying the frame rate itself is going to affect the frame rate. But also, like normally, if a game's not running at 50 frames a second, you can usually feel it. You can usually straight away sense that this is running at 25 frames a second. It doesn't normally vary much between those two. Like, so it's either running at 50 or it's running at 25, or it's running slower than 25. But if it's running slower than 50, you can usually feel it pretty easily. Huh. Okay, well, Street Fighter demo seems to be okay. I'll move on. This demo here is a port of port of a very small portion of the game Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. So this one is really just to show how you can do like visual novels. So games that are quite text heavy. Skip through it quickly. Um, I think I did add quarter rotations myself at one stage, but I didn't. I think that was before it was in the repository, so it didn't get added. Um, Well, the Phoenix Wright demo seems to be working okay. So we'll have another look at Street Fighter. I don't think the quarter rotation code is in there. But I guess we'll have a look at Ryu. So, yeah, we don't have anything on time or expired. I was pretty sure I was using on time or expired to handle the quarter circle. We don't really. Well, we've got a Ken handler, but that's for the AI. We don't really have a right. Oh, we do have a Ryu handler. Oh, interesting. Okay. And do we actually call Ryu handler from anywhere? I'll just check. I don't think we do it on the animations. We've got finish reset attack, so that's not. No, okay. Well, what I'm going to try is we've got our Ryu actor. I'm going to say I'm going to connect that to there, and I'll try doing a quarter circle punch without the keyboard. Sorry, the Hadouken without the keyboard. Yep. Okay, so that's. Oh, no, I did it once. Oh, okay. So it worked once. I think it's just something doesn't reset afterwards, or something breaks it afterwards. So might need to have a look at yeah. Although actually, having said that, oh, okay, because you can't normally you normally have to use the keyboard, right? There's not like a you can't punch, you can't no yeah, okay, so punch only works with keyboard. I'm gonna have a look at pick state false. Play right. Oh, okay, because yeah, I've said play Hadouken, so maybe instead of that I should be just trigger sound Hadouken. Um, yeah, Amatin, normally like I normally make all my projects from scratch. So I would normally recommend um, yeah, I would normally recommend just making games from scratch. But the sample games are there if if you want to learn how things work, or if there's something in a sample game that you want to copy for your game, you just sort of open it and play around and work out how it works. I'm just gonna set. So Niso, if I have that set to init game, that should start the game straight away, right? Oh, sorry. I just changed the startup code block to init game, so that I'm presuming should start the game straight away. I'll just give that a quick test because I'm probably going to need to start and stop the game a few times. Um, yep. So I can do the Hadouken on keyboard, on joystick the first time. Um, I might. What's that charge? Okay. Oh yeah, that's something I should look into sometime. Is yeah, people do ask me how do you run two copies of Scorpion at the same time. So go base, inline, and then charge. So that's going to run the same code. Um, oh, now here's another problem: is that's the wrong one. I should be using that as a spawner. So I'll run this code on startup because it will always go back to it. So I don't. It might have been messing it up, having it on timer expired. It just should have been on Ryu handler. Um, and let's see what happens now. So I might make a change here. I'm going to set that to Amiga 4000 settings just so that it boots faster. No. Okay, so still only doing it once. Problem with the Hadouken timeout? Can Hadouken doesn't reset properly? Yeah, possibly. Though, yeah. Let me just I need to do something to prove whether or not this is working. Is there anything else that uses Niso? Is there anything else that uses yield? So it does that animation, and then it does do reset attacks at the end. And let's have a look at reset attacks. I think my bug is just this is not running again. Something's stopping this from running. State 0. Oh, I know what I'll do. We have, let's have a look. So life score. Okay, so I'm going to hijack that variable, and I'm going to go Hadoken state. In fact, and I'll make a copy of that, and I'll put that down there. So Hadoken state and Hadoken timeout. So by seeing those variables on screen, I hopefully should be able to work out what's going wrong. So yeah, it looks like Token State 3. So it looks like it definitely is running this code again. It's just it's not codeblock charge. Player Y speed is not 0 return. Can Hadoken. It's true. Play Hadoken on player. Let's check. Those are okay. Alright, CPU. This one has me really confused. I don't know if this is this could be a bug with Scorpion itself. Oh, attack state. What is? Oh, okay. So attack state gets set to true, but it never gets reset. It seems. I'm not sure why. If I actually need this bit, so I'm just going to comment out. Just going to remove some of these. Comment out some of these lines, and then let's try that again. There might have just been there to prevent multiple, doing multiple doing multiple of those at once, doing multiple Hadokens at once. while the other one's still playing. Let's try it again. So that's okay. Oh. Okay, yeah, it seems to be working now. So it does a punch if I'm just pushing the punch button. If I'm holding down left or right, it does a kick, and then if I do like down right punch, it does the is that? So I think that's fixed it. Um, I'll just reset some of the things that I changed. So um, where are we? Under panels, I don't need that element anymore. And then that I can reset that back to, was it player one score? I think it was. Um, hmm. um, okay, well, uh, Niso, did you want to leave it so that those keyboard? Oh, I suppose there's no reason why you can't leave it so those keyboard commands are still there, but uh, now they're running on well, now that you can do all of them with one button joystick. I need to reset that back to startup. I'll put that back to Amiga 500 plus, which I think is what you had it set to before. Well, I mean, it's your demo. I guess the only thing is, like, if we leave those keyboard commands in there, people looking at the demo might think that's the only way to do them. Um, yeah. Emerton, I kind of felt like Scorpion uses a philosophy from a whole bunch of different things. Like, the very first game making toolkit I used was Click and Play, which is also by the guy that made Amos. And there is a fair bit of Click and Play inspiration in Scorpion Engine, but other than that, it's it takes some inspiration from Unity. It takes some inspiration from Unreal Engine. It's just sort of like a combination of every game making toolkit I've ever used. Um, I'll leave that one as it is. I think I'm fairly happy with how the quarter circle's working. Um, I'll have a look at some of these other ones. So Pang is another Niso Games one. Actually, Niso, shall I make it because it's only 256 pixels wide? Shall I make it wider? Yeah, how big is the map in total? So probably can't. I guess probably can't fit the whole map on screen, but let's have a look. So 24 times 16 is 384. Yep. So definitely can't fit the whole thing on screen, but it's 256 wide. It's probably not going to work very well at 304, but I'll give it a try anyway and see what it looks like. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. It doesn't seem to have any noticeable bugs with and you know it's scrolling and it's almost full screen. Might be a little bit slower just because the screen being so much wider, but I think it's all right. Yeah. Well, let's have a look. So, well, you're not actually using any. Are you actually using sprites though? Um, yeah, I think you could potentially make it 25 frames, but I guess your player would need to be you know you'd need to have your palette aligned so that your player was an only sprite. Um, but anyway, I think that's okay for now. I'll that seems to be working okay, and it looks pretty good with the full screen. Uh, Pitfall is one that's Pitfall is very very hacky. Just because it does like things like ladders and falling. It's very very different, very very different to a typical platform game. So this one may have some obvious bugs. Actually, I'll just get hit by the enemy. I'll just make sure the yep. Okay, so that bit seems to be working. So it goes back to the start. Okay, I'll see if I can get over him. No. Okay, so far it's all working basically the same as the Commodore 64 version. Um, this game I probably should rework it so that it's uses 25 hertz because um 'cause it does seem to run. Oh, now that's a bug. Okay, he's stuck. Don't know what caused that. I'll need to. Let's have a look. So cheat. Can I use a cheat to skip to the ladder? Let's have a look. Okay, so got ladder there. Okay, get ladder here. That seems to be working okay. It's just when I get off the ladder there it breaks it. Um, I'm hoping this is not going to be something that's super difficult to work out. Let's have a look. So I've got. Let me check my ladder handler code. Can get off ladder to true. Oh, let's have a look at the map. So, okay, so that must be get letter middle, I think it's called. So letter middle handler. So get off ladder sides. Maybe there's a bug here. Go to set name. And that. Full right start. Yeah, this is quite a convoluted mess because of how different Pitfall is to just about every other platformer. Full right start. Oh. Oh no, hang on. Full right start. Um, just gonna put a quit here and just want to check that it. Sometimes I put quit statements in the middle of my code just to check that something's working. Because if it, whoops. Okay, so we know something definitely is triggering this function. Hmm. Oh, yeah, full left end. I think I found the bug. And it's to do with the change made to Scorpion recently, which is if an animation doesn't have 0 frames, then it never ends. It didn't used to work that way. It used to be, if it had 0 frames, it'd basically instantly be over. So I just need to check that everywhere where I've got full in, where I've got a 0 frame animation, that the events properly get triggered. Excellent. So that one's okay. Set full, that one's okay. That one's okay. Hopefully this time the ladder will work. Yep, that works much better. Okay. I might just do some quick final tests and then I'll just check that the balloons work. Is this where the balloons are? Oh. Now there's another bug, is I should be able to move while I'm falling. Can't for some reason. And alright. Full handler. I don't remember what that code was meant to do. Oh, so many bugs in this game. Nope. Whoops. And again. No, okay, so so for some reason this code block isn't running, full handler. Um is it not playing that animation? Should be, because we've got full left and full right. Like it's not triggering those animations for some reason. Um just gonna try. Okay, could be just that it's I'm going to set that to 1 frame instead of 0 frames, just to see if that makes a difference. Oops. Didn't make a difference anyway. Oh, so I didn't put... Just going to go through and find everywhere where I've got 0 frames, set it to 1, just in case that's causing a bug. Alright, let's try that again. Yep, okay, I think that's fixed it. I just need to remove quit from there, and then I will give it another go. No, okay, it's acting very weirdly. Oh, so many bugs to fix on this one. Well, I do want to release a new update to this anyway, so I might spend some time another time just going through and fixing every bug to make sure it all works with the latest Scorpion. But for now, I'll just do some final checks on. So Scott Pilgrim is the latest demo in the unofficial demos pack. It's an AGA exclusive demo, so you need AGA for it, and it has basically because it has these big sprites. So um, so in order to be able to run at 60 frames a second, all of this has to be sprites. And yeah, there's not really much to it other than like I wanted a demo of like a final fight or Double Dragon type game. So I've kind of got the bare bones of something that could be used for a scrolling fighting game. Seems to work okay. I'm happy with that. Then the only other demo in the pack is the Zelda demo, so I'll just check that's working okay. It should be alright. Oh, and cheers, Amatin. Yeah, Tiled is really, really good. So having integration with it definitely saved me a lot of time trying to make something that uh, make my own tile map editor. Yeah, this one seems to be working okay. No bugs so far. It's a very simple demo. It's not really much to it other than you can pick up a sword and you can start killing these things. But it does show that, conceivably, uh, you could make a full-length Zelda game in Scorpion Engine. Although, because you can't currently save with Scorpion Engine, so you wouldn't really be able to, or you wouldn't currently be able to have a proper Zelda experience. Yeah, and well, I think that's about all I wanted to test. There are lots and lots of bugs with Pitfall that I need to sort out, but I can come back another time. Yeah, thanks, Emmett. Yes, so I will leave it for now, unless yep, no worries, Emmett. I'll leave it for now, unless anyone's uh, had any more questions or wanted another look at one of the demos. Well, thanks, guys. Um, yeah, I might come on stream about the same time tomorrow. Maybe work on Gunsmoke or uh, one or a bit more on Pitfall, some of my other projects. Well, yeah, thanks, Emmett, Mixel, Niso, um, Riddigic, and Griffin, and yeah, I hope to see you all again sometime soon.